Assistant Chief Forecaster Cameron and
Chief Forecaster Derek here back with you again. Again, as we mentioned, for our folks in Osceola and Wilson, we'll be watching this storm very, very closely. And once again, the same storm that has a history of producing a tornado and damage from Mountain Home all the way to just north of Jonesboro. Once again, is tornado warning once again here for Mississippi County and the northern. Actually, this is just for Mississippi County here in Northeast Arkansas. Again, this does include I-55 here between Osceola down to Wilson. Not only do we have the tornado warning, but we also have a severe warning for very large hail as well.
Right, so go ahead and read you guys the tornado warning once again. So this tornado warning just got issued. It's going to go until 9:45, pretty short-term tornado warning. That's going to go into northwestern Tennessee, going over the Mississippi River, but it's coming into Mississippi County at this point. So interest along Interstate 55, you need to be sticking your tornado precautions to read. As a matter of fact, Derek, what we're going to do, we had our Interstate cam back up and running, folks, and I'm going to tell you guys this now. We are having radar up on our page, okay? Radar is going to go. We have radar on our website as well here, guys. So the reason why we have this Interstate cam at this point is to kind of give you a visual on where the tornado is from a ground perspective, okay? So if you're worried about radar, worried about where your area across the natural state, feel free to take a look at our main page, take a look at our website. That's where we're going to have all that information at this point here, okay? So tornado warning still remains in effect for Mississippi County until 9:45. Definitely a hail producer with the storm here. We'll go back to radar for just a bit. I may have to switch this over, Derek, to our Memphis radar for just a bit. But there's a definite area of rotation here. Once again, it has decided to take that southeast turn. And that's what I was telling you guys before, that dreaded southeast turn. Once it starts going southeast, that's where it starts maximizing the tornado potential. And then once again, we have another storm up here in Cherokee Village, mainly a wind and hail producer. But once again, we have another storm that we're going to have to watch, because if it starts taking southeast moving again, we may have another tornado warning in the same area. So we'll have to watch Northeast Arkansas very, very closely on this short-term period. But this is where the tornado warning is at this point. It's coming along Interstate 55 at this current time here. So you need to be seeking shelter immediately in these areas. That's getting away from windows, put as many walls to unity outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately here. Derek, go ahead.
Alright, so once again, folks, we have a tornado warning that has been issued. Let's go to our velocity scan camera and take a look at this. Once again, this is in the very northeastern corner
there it is. Ooh, right
of velocity scan.
Yeah, I was taking like the brief for just a second. Yeah, right there.
Alright, so once again, right there is where the possible tornado would be. This is moving in between Dias and Kaiser and Osceola. Osceola, this is going to pass just to your southwest, but continue to take your tornado precautions. But once again, tornado warning does continue here for our folks in Mississippi County. And once this storm crosses the river, that will be out of our service area, out of our coverage area. But we will continue to track it until then. Also, we are watching a storm in White County that is starting to show increase in signs of rotation as well.
Right. So as said before, guys, this is what we got going. So this is southeast of Caraway, or along Interstate 55 at this point here. So just continue to monitor. It's the bottom corner of your screen here. As you can see, very dark image, guys. You're not going to be able to see this coming at this point here. So this is going to track right over Interstate 55. So you know anyone in Keesler or in Osceola or in Wilson, they need to be seeking shelter immediately. This is also going to include Highway 61 that runs up from kind of paralleling Interstate 55, so they need to be seeking shelter immediately here in this area. And I was telling Derek before, I wouldn't be shocked, especially this thing taking more of a southeastern turn now, that this thing may end up being on the ground once again. So we're going to go back over to our debris indicator, Derek. Definitely a lot of hail with this storm. I can see it, but right in here, Derek, where you can see the area of rotation at this point. So I'm trying to match it up right there.
Yep.
I wouldn't be shocked this thing was on the ground once again, because it's in the area away from the
hook
on a hook on radar.
Starting to wrap around, and that could be an indication of a possible debris indication with this storm.
Yep.
So once again,
let me zoom this out.
Once again, folks, if there is a tornado on the ground, it is going to be just to the southwest of Osceola. Osceola, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Lowest the level of your house, away from windows, put as many walls between you and the
Okay.
outside as possible.
All right, Derek. Let me see here. I was looking at that Bradford storm over here in White County. Still capable of producing an inch of hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, but I thought for a second a tornado warning had got issued, but apparently, I guess it was a issue with our software, so we're good to go on that. But still, severe thunderstorm warning with that. But
and I
we'll have
want
to
to
watch
mention something else with this storm. We're now getting storm reports out of Hoxie and Lawrence County, reports of portable buildings destroyed and scattered siding from structures and vehicles blown over the roadway. So again, this storm has a history of producing damage. Whether or not you want to argue if it's a tornado, if it's straight line wind, if it's hail, we don't care. What we want to tell you is that this storm has regenerated once again and has produced damage over a 100-mile path across this state tonight.
Yep.
That is our concern. Our concern is the fact that Osceola and Wilson are under a tornado warning for a storm that has produced damage tonight. That is our concern, and that's what we are going to focus on. Again, as you can see on the radar, when it lost its rotation, it was recycling, bringing in all the rain and stuff from its south. Now it's regenerated and it's recycled once again. Now we have it moving towards the town of Osceola. Let's go on and zoom in again, Cameron.
Yep.
On Mississippi County.
Yeah, and I was going to say, there's a lot of people worried about the White County area, too.
Yep.
Guys, that's a severe thunderstorm warning. That's going to go for Lawrence Hill. So it's 7-4, guys. If severe thunderstorm warning goes out, don't wait for a confirmation. Don't wait for a tornado warning. Get inside, okay? Get away from the windows. Get away from the exterior walls at this point here. We will talk about the rest of the natural state when this is off the map. But right now, guys, this is our attention. This has our primary attention at this point here, okay? We'll talk about the rest of the natural state when we have the rest of the time here. But right now, this is what we got at this point here. Tornado warning in effect for Mississippi County. Any interest along the Mississippi River at this point, because I know we have a lot of festivities for Easter, and a lot of people kind of, do stuff along the river. So if you know anyone along the river right now, they need to be seeking their tornado precautions immediately in this area here at this time here. So we'll get to it once we get past the tornado warnings, guys. But right now, this is our primary focus at this point here, okay?
Yep.
And I don't have a good visual on this RDOT camera, Derek, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off the screen.
All right, let's
for this point.
go on. Let's go on and find a. Let's look for an RDOT camera around.
That was
Wilson.
the best. That was the best one.
Okay.
That's the best one we have, and it's too dark to see anything.
Right.
So,
okay, let's go back to our velocity scan. Once again, Cameron, just take a look at this.
Okay, there it is.
And I tell you what, folks, let's zoom in on this area. Let's get a street view going.
Yep.
Once again, folks, if there could be a tornado on the ground with this storm.
That's County Road 708 right there.
Again, this is in western Mississippi County. This is to the west of Kaiser and Marie. Folks, if you're traveling along I-55, stop right now. If you are between Blytheville and Bassett in Mississippi County, you need to find a safe place right now. This storm is going to track just over I-55 in just a matter of minutes. Again, if you live in Wilson, if you live in Marie, if you live in Kaiser, you need to be in a safe place right now, lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, this is not a typical event. This storm is riding a warm front from northwest to southeast. And basically what that means is it's coming from the northwest. Most of our tornadic storms come out of the southwest.
As a matter of
fact.
So
again, this is moving kind of along. This is moving right along a warm front. It's just south of the warm front right now.
Yeah, you can see it
so once again, this is an environment that is still conducive for tornadic development, and we've seen that already tonight. So once again, tornado warning does continue here, and again, this is moving towards the town of Kaiser. This is moving towards the town of Marie. This is moving towards the town of Wilson. Again, if you live in southeastern or in east central Mississippi County, you need to be taking your tornado precautions now.
Yeah, and this is our gate-to-gate shift for just a second here. I'm taking a look at this, and there it is right there. Yep. I mean, there's no undeniable proof right here. That's right there in Mississippi County, folks. You need to be seeking shelter immediately. And we've been urging folks along Interstate 55 for the last 30 minutes to take this storm seriously. And this is the time now that you need to be seeking shelter. So if you're trying to travel on Interstate 55 north, you need to stop where you are. You need to find a gas station and take shelter immediately, folks. This could easily be on the ground once again here. So take your tornado precautions immediately, guys. Get away from windows, as many walls from you and the outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately. And I do fully aware that this is in a rural area up here in northeast Arkansas. And I know a lot of people are probably trying to leave because of the fact they're not getting questions answered and stuff like that. Folks, during tornado warnings, unless you're in the path of this storm, we're not going to answer city and county questions. It's not going to happen at this point. We have an entire forecast team on the page for a reason. We have an entire Facebook page for a reason, and all the other platforms. When a tornado warning's in place, that's where our attention goes to at this time here, okay? So please keep that in mind. Respect the polygon, folks. I cannot stress that enough. You got to respect the polygon here at this time here if you're in Mississippi County. So if you're trying to travel north of Interstate 55 right now, you need to stop where you are right now. And there's a severe thunderstorm warning. Damage threat considerable with that. So not only the tornado threat, Derek, but also the almost 2-inch diameter hail. We've had this hail problem ever since it came out of Missouri. So the hail potential with this storm has continued all the way down, fits to be coming into western Tennessee at this point. So a very long track supercell, history of damaging tornadoes, history of very large hail as it came out of Missouri down into northeastern Arkansas. So keep that in mind, folks. We're still monitoring the storm. Tornado warning in place until give me one second, but tornado warning is going to be in place until 9:45. I wouldn't be shocked if it got extended. And any interest, by the way, one more time, any interest in Tennessee that's along Interstate 40 at this point, you need to monitor the storm and you need to be prepared to take tornado precautions immediately. Go ahead, Derek.
So once again, folks, let's go to our question coefficient view camera.
Yep. Already on it.
And this indicates
right there, right there.
And folks,
right
again,
there.
if you live,
that's
this is not the most well-pronounced debris signature I've seen over the years, but again, this is still a debris signature of some kind.
Let me compare it. Yeah, that's going to be right there.
And again, so folks, this is looking very close. This is moving very closely to the town of Kaiser. Again, once again, nothing's been confirmed, but let's assume this is on the ground. Debris signature matches up with the velocity, so let's assume this is on the ground. All right. Once again, tornado warning for Kaiser and Marie. This is about to cross, if not crossing, I-55 right now. So once again, folks, if you live in this area, you need to be taking your precaution right now. Lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible.
Yep, definitely. Right here. That's going to be right there in Keesler at this point along Interstate 55. So I know we have a lot of people that are truck drivers and stuff like that traveling on Interstate 55 North. Do us a big favor. Try to at least give them some kind of warning. I know a lot of people, when they're working, they can't be on their phones, but please, 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 please do us a favor and try to give them some kind of a heads up, folks. This is a very dangerous storm moving southeast at about 40 to 50 miles per hour. It has a history of damaging tornadoes and very large hail. This is moving due southeast into Mississippi County, and then it's going to make a run for western Tennessee here. And to kind of put some minds at ease, because we're getting bugged a lot about the storm over here in White County. Folks, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, okay? This is a hail threat. This is not a tornado threat. As long as these storms are moving due east, they're not going to maximize the tornado threat. When they start dipping like this one over here in Mississippi County, that is a southeastern mover, that's when the tornado threat is going to be at its max. But as long as it's moving due east, I'm not too concerned about the tornado threat. Yes, it's a hail threat. Yes, it's a damaging wind threat. But folks, right now our attention is going to be with this tornado warning at this point here. So rest assured, over there in Jackson, White County right now is a severe thunderstorm warning. Hail and wind is the main threat with that storm. We are monitoring. If a warning gets issued, we are right here on live. So please keep that in mind at this point here. But our focus right now is going to be with this tornado warning here in northeastern Arkansas from Mississippi County. Interest along Interstate 55 and points southeast from there. You need to be taking your tornado precautions immediately at this current point here, guys. So this is what we got at this current point here. Go ahead, Derek. What you got? You got any reports?
No, I'm trying to see if we have any viewpoints from anywhere near the storm. Again, like you said, the closest camera is actually just north of Osceola, and we need one just to the south of Osceola. I'm going to try to see if I can port one. Just on the south
interchange. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that one's going to point north, though. That's the problem. I don't know if it's pointing north or is it pointing due south.
Again, if you live in the town of Kaiser, you need to be taking your tornado precautions right now. Lowest level of your house, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, folks, this is a very dangerous situation with this storm, folks. Again, we have seen multiple reports of damage this evening from both hail and the possibility of at least one tornado, if not two or more. Again, the biggest thing is going to be, don't believe that just because it's not on the ground doesn't mean it's not dangerous. It's still a very dangerous storm, folks. And again, this is moving. And let's go back to our debris indicator. You know, just to give an idea, folks, of where this is. Again, this is moving just to the northwest of Kaiser, and actually, it's looking a little more tighter than what it just was. So let's put our velocity tracker on the, so everybody can see it.
Yep.
So let's put our marker up on screen too.
All right, give me 1 second here. That's gonna be right here. All right, that's it right there. So it's going to be right there over Mississippi County. So this warning is going to go for another 15 minutes, by the way. But this is it, folks. You need to be seeking shelter immediately. So if you can still hear us, by the way, etc. If you know anyone on Interstate 55, they need to be seeking shelter immediately in these areas. That's getting away from windows. Let's put as many walls to Uni outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately at this point here, guys. I cannot stress that enough at this current point here, all right? Noah, have you heard anything in terms of damage at this time here? Okay.
But also the other cam is on the storm right now as well.
Okay.
Live on Facebook with it.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. All right. So that's before, folks. You need to be.
They did continue the tornado warning.
Go ahead, Noah.
They did continue the tornado warning.
Okay.
Update out for it.
All right. Gotcha. All right. So tornado warning still remains in effect until 9:45 this evening. Give me 1 second. That's going to impact southwestern Mississippi, central Tipton, southwestern Loudoun counties as well. Capable of producing a tornado and golf ball size sail moving southeast at about 35 miles per hour here. So that's the storm that we're watching up here in northeastern Arkansas. We do have this one over here. They have dropped, as a matter of fact, they dropped the severe thunderstorm warning for White in the Woodruff County and the Jackson County here, folks. So this one I'm not concerned about anymore. As long as it was moving due east, the tornado threat was very low with it.
Yep.
This one right here is moving due southeast. So when these storms start taking that southeast move, that means that it's forcing southeast winds into the storm, and that's what's going to localize the tornado threat here. So I would call this a very lone track tornadic supercell through Missouri, through Arkansas, and it's going to try to make a run for Western Tennessee. So I guess you would call it a tri-state supercell at this point here. It's making it from Missouri all the way down.
And again, another thing I want to stress about this is a fluke. This is one of those fluke storms that I don't think the tornado threat is high with the other storm, as long as, like Cameron said, as long as they keep moving east.
Yeah.
Again, I think this is going to be one of your fluke storms tonight. Yes, are we going to have multiple rounds of storms overnight? Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be
Do we have a
too.
flooding threat overnight? Yes. Are we going to see multiple storms overnight? Yes, absolutely. But that being said, the threat for tornadoes, not zero, but low. But that being said, all it takes is one storm to do damage, one storm to make a long track like this one has. And that's what we've seen from Mountain Home. That's what we've seen from Cherokee Village, Walnut Ridge, just north of Jonesboro, and now here we are into Osceola. This is going to track in between Osceola and Wilson in just a matter of minutes. Once this crosses the state line, it will be out of our covered area once again.
Yeah.
But once again, tornado warning does continue here from Mississippi County until 9:45 on this Good Friday night.
Yep.
Again, I'm hoping that this thing starts to die down soon. I'm seeing a lot more coverage of storms, and hopefully that's a good indication that we're starting to lose that tornadic oomph that the atmosphere has had this evening.
Yeah, and that's right there on the boundary too. So just kind of give you like a statewide view on what's going on across the board here. This is what we got across the area, folks. We've got most of our warnings up here are in eastern Arkansas and northeastern Arkansas at this time here. Rest of the natural state, because we've gotten a lot of questions from like Little Rock or the Russellville area or Fort Smith or even a Cabot, the same areas that were impacted on Monday. Folks, right now the storms are up here. Okay, this is why we urge so much about knowing your counties and knowing your cities, because of the fact during tornado warning coverage, this is where our attention goes. So the rest of the natural state right now is in perfectly good shape. The tornado watch still continues until midnight tonight for central and eastern Arkansas. I can go ahead and pull that up actually so you guys can see it graphically at this point. Okay, so this is where the tornado watch is at this time here. This severe thunderstorm watch is just going to get canceled at 10 o'clock. This one's going to go until midnight tonight for central and northeastern Arkansas. And then we do have other storms that we will have to watch for. As Derek mentioned before, as long as they're east movers, I'm not worried about the tornado threat. When they start turning southeast like this one did, that's when the tornado threat's going to start increasing for localized areas. So we will watch it during the overnight hours. We have an entire team that's going to be here. We'll keep you guys informed throughout tonight into the early part of your Saturday morning. Put trust in us, guys, and we'll keep you guys informed, okay? I know everybody's worried. I know everyone is stressed out to the max. We've had our 4th severe weather event for us here in Arkansas. Everybody's on edge at this point. I understand it, okay? But we promise you guys, as long as there's not a warning, those storms tonight, they're going to be very, very loud coming in. But as long as there's not a warning for it, it does not mean that it's severe, okay? If there's a warning for it, that means it's severe. If it's not a warned storm, it's a very strong thunderstorm. It's very loud at this point here, okay? So please keep that in mind here. So the tornado warning still continues for Mississippi County. That storm is moving rapidly over the Mississippi River. It's going to become Western Tennessee's problem, and I've said before, if you know anyone that's traveling on Interstate 40 coming out of Arkansas, going into Western Tennessee, they need to seek shelter immediately in these areas here. But just across the natural state to put some minds at ease, folks, there's not much going on. There's not much going on at this point. Thunderstorms will start getting going later into the night, into the early part of your Saturday morning here at this time here. Go ahead, Derek.
Alright, so right now, let's go back to our black screen once again, Cameron, just to take another look at this storm.
Okay.
So once again, as we mentioned, we do have a tornado warning that's still in effect here for parts of Mississippi County.
Yep.
Again, this is mainly between Osceola and Wilson. It's crossing I-55 right now. Again, this is a southeast moving storm. This is moving off towards the southeast here, about 50 to 55 miles an hour. So as this thing continues to track towards the southeast, this is going to be taking it over the town of Wilson here in just a few minutes. And Cameron, I'm now getting reports of about 4,000 people without power now across the state, and that comes from where our potential tornado track came from. Through the towns of Cherokee Village,
yep.
Through the towns of Walnut Ridge, basically everywhere that this potential tornado track is where our current outages are.
Yep.
We currently have only 86 out in Craighead County right now, so that's a good thing. It does look like if there was a tornado, it looked like it lifted just prior to the Jonesboro area this evening. Not getting any reports out of Mississippi County yet, but I'm certain we will have some soon as the storm continues to move across. So once again, tornado warning continues here to 9:45 for our folks in Mississippi County. It's actually going to cross into Tiffany County, Tennessee here in just a little bit. Once it does, we will break away from coverage once again. Once this is out of our warning area, out of our coverage area, but we will continue to track this storm as it continues to move off towards the east. And again, Cameron, our coverage I'm glitchy once again.
I'm aware of that. It's probably some localized internet issues at this point here, guys. So that tornado warning still remains in effect here. Everything's still good on our side. So it'll start coming back at this point here. So and so far, guys, this is what we got at this point. We're still good to go, by the way. So
yes, we've had tornado warnings.
Yeah.
4 5 days this week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's been a crazy week, folks. It's been a crazy week. But fortunately for us, look at this one. This tornado warning storm. Fortunately for us, this is the best area of rotation we've seen all night. But this one, it's becoming. The rotation is not as strong as it was before here. It's starting to become broad out. So basically, what that means is there's other storms that it's fighting, and this is actually fits to be out of Arkansas here. So as soon as this crosses the river. We are going to break away from coverage here, guys. This coverage is still going to continue for tonight here, okay? So that kind of puts some minds to ease. As I said before, tonight, the main thing I want to stress, and you got to pay attention to me, as long as the storm is moving west to east, the tornado threat will be very, very low. If the storm starts taking more of a southeast turn, that's when you're going to have to watch for a tornado. So west to east, low tornado threat. Northwest to southeast motion, that's where you're going to increase your tornado threat for tonight here. Notice, this one took a path just like this, okay? So that means your tornado threat was maximized. This one over here that developed in White County moved due east. Notice how it never went tornado warn, okay? So that means the tornado threat is greater with your storms that are moving due southeast versus the ones that are moving due east. The ones over here in Oklahoma, because I know a lot of people worried about this one over here as well. These storms, once again, are moving west to east at this point. Okay, so that means that the tornado threat with this one will be very low. It's going to be hail and wind threat. Also, as we get later into the night, we're going to lose our instability as well. So just kind of keep that in mind across the board. We're going to lose a lot of instability as we get towards nighttime hours. So that's what's going to lead to the severe threat coming to a gradual end. But that does not mean we will not have loud storms across the area for tonight here. So please, please, please keep that in mind for tonight. We'll keep you guys informed. We're going to let this tornado warning stay up, get off the screen for just a bit, and then we'll jump back to coverage here. So what do you have? Any reports, Derek, of anything?
So far, I'm seeing no reports of tornadoes out of Mississippi County.
That's good.
That's a good thing. No reports of damage out of Mississippi County either.
Okay.
So that being said, that is very, very good. So once again, that is a good thing. Again, I'm getting multiple reports now of damage coming out of where the first round of this tracked. From Cherokee Village. As a matter of fact, if you can pull up the storm
there's another warning that just got issued for it, but I believe this one is going to go. This one is just going for the Tennessee area more than Arkansas at this point. So this one's going to go until 10:30 with this one. But I believe what's going to happen is this is going to push deep into Tennessee. So we are going to let this one go. But I'm going to go ahead and zoom out and put out some storm reports at this point. So bear with me for just a bit and we'll get that up for you at this time here. Okay, so this is the tornado reports at this point. It should be coming up here shortly at this time here. Okay, so there it is right there, Derek. There's all the tornado reports we've had so far, mainly hail and tornado. Unfortunately, tornado on the ground from earlier, that was at 7:55 this evening in Lawrence County. We also had a confirmed tornado in west of Black Rock. That was on Highway 210. And then we had emergency reports of cars flipped over Highway 67 and Walnut Ridge. That was around 8:15 this evening. Okay, so we've had multiple reports of tornadoes coming out of the Sharp County into Lawrence County and the Randolph County area. We've had multiple reports of large hail. There it is right there. So golf ball to softball size hail. Golf ball to baseball size hail on Highway 351. Large hail in parts of the Paragould area here at this time. We've had all the other reports of golf ball size hail northeast of Jonesboro. 4-inch hail from Craighead County from the fire department and rescue. We've had also 3-inch hail in the Caraway area from emergency management, first the fire department rescue once again, and then golf ball sized hail in Etowa, which is in Mississippi County, Arkansas, excuse me, from fire department and rescue once again here. Okay, we've also have another report up here along the Arkansas-Missouri border. So you can see the trail of severe thunderstorm reports coming from basically up here in Missouri, from the Missouri-Arkansas border down to Sharp County, down to Lawrence, down to Craighead, and now eventually down into Mississippi County here. So, Derek, I believe our storm has left us. So I think we're good to go in terms of coverage. We can take a look at it though.
One more time, just to be sure. I don't want to leave the storm until it's completely
been gone. Yeah.
It's currently right now sitting on the river.
Yeah, it's right there on the river. Yeah, it's right there on the river at this point, and this is so. Therefore, we're gonna wait and see what happens with this storm here. It's fixed to cross over the river, so once it crosses over, we should be good to go here. But they kept the tornado warning just to be on the safe side. But this is fixing to become a Western Tennessee problem. But as I said before, if you have any interest on Interstate 40 that runs from West Memphis into Western Tennessee, they do need to be taking their tornado precautions. That's going to go from Brownsville, Tennessee to West Memphis at this point. You need to be taking your tornado precautions at this time, and that's going to push due southeast towards Interstate 40 here. So if you're on 40 once again, take those tornado precautions. It's getting away from windows. That's putting as many walls to uni outside as possible. Get to the lowest area of your home immediately here. But the key to the word tonight, folks, if it's moving east, don't worry about it. If it's moving west to east, it's going to be a hail and wind threat with it. If it's a tornado threat, it's going to move from northwest to southeast tonight. That's going to be your main deals for tonight here, okay? That's the one thing I want to stress here. So therefore, if any warnings get issued tonight, we will be here. They have dropped the tornado warning itself down to far southeastern Mississippi County, but mainly including Tennessee now. So once this crosses over the river, we will begin to drop out of coverage at this time here, okay? But we're gonna zoom this out this one last time so you guys can see statewide view on what's going on here. We're gonna go back to our rotation, not rotation, our current radar here in Little Rock, and show you guys what's going on here. So the tornado warning over here, Mississippi County. Special weather statement up here in northern Arkansas. That's going to go for Pocahontas. 40-mile-per-hour winds, less than an inch in diameter of hail at this point here. And this radar is going to come up at this time here, but there's not much going on at this current point. We had that one storm that was in White County, and it has since died off. That one storm has been allowed to die off at this point. So just kind of keep that in mind here. This should be loading up here shortly. With this, guys. But 7-4, guys, that's that tornado warning over there in Mississippi County. Rest of the natural state right now clears the bill at this point. Okay, Derek, got any more to?
Are we going back to our Little Rock radar?
Yeah, we're going back to our Little Rock radar. It should be coming up here shortly.
All right. Yeah. Let's go back to our Little Rock radar just to give you a viewpoint here across the state again. The one lone tornado warning, we've been tracking this storm for well over 2 hours now across the state. We've actually tracked it, if you notice. It started around Mountain Home and dove southeast to almost Memphis. Classic example of a storm following a boundary.
Yep.
The good news is that the warm front is starting to lift a little bit further north, and well, we need that front, and that means our cold front to our west is starting to come in.
Yeah.
And what we need is that warm front to continue lifting north. This is going to get out of the state. That way, the threat for the tornadic side of things starts to go down.
Yeah.
But again, tornado warning continues here for a few more minutes here in Mississippi County.
Give me 1 second. It's gonna come back up. Give me 1 second here. All right. Yeah, it's gonna continue for just a bit, guys. Have a little bit of technical issues across the board here, but basically what's going on, guys. So take your tornado precautions if you're in southeastern Mississippi. At this point, it's gonna come back up here shortly, guys. But take your tornado precautions, meaning that's getting away from windows, spinning window wells to unity outside as possible. So if you know anyone on Interstate 40 that runs along from Memphis over towards western Tennessee, they do need to be seeking shelter immediately. And so forth. If you're traveling right now, I know it's Friday. A lot of people, especially from the grocery stores and stuff like that, they do take advantage of that highway. There's our radar back up there. They do need to be seeking shelter immediately in those areas here. So this is radar back up once again. I do apologize for a little bit of technical issue. We do have radar, but you can see there's not much going on right now here. And I believe the tornado warning still remains in effect for southeastern Mississippi County, but it has crossed the river at this point. So outside of the storm in Poinsett County, there's nothing going on across the natural state.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I think we're good. All right, we're good.
Again, tonight's the biggest super weather threat. We do have a small threat tomorrow.
Yep.
The bigger threat tomorrow is going to be flash flooding. There's a flash flood watch in effect for 2 to 4 inches of rain overnight and into the day on Saturday. So again, and the reason why, you can see the trending of storms starting to set up already across central Arkansas. If you look out in Oklahoma, we have storms starting to develop there. Those are going to move southeast across central into southeast Arkansas. Again, radar also has future radar has additional development overnight.
Yep.
It's going to be a loud night ahead, folks. It's going to be a loud night, a loud morning. But then again, it's nothing we aren't used to here in the state when it comes to spring storms and storm in Arkansas. Right. Our tornado warning has crossed over the Mississippi River. Osceola, you are in the clear. Mississippi County, you are now in the clear. This storm is finally out of the state. So with that being said, we're going to break away once again. If things do go back warm, we will be back once again. Radar updates will continue. As a reminder, we have a tornado watch in effect for central into northeast Arkansas until midnight. And then, of course, we have a thunderstorm watch just to the west of the state until 2 a.m., and that will likely be extended into western Arkansas as we go into the overnight hours. Once again, though, we will watch the tornado threat. It is very conditional, but it is there. We're going to watch it, and we'll be here all night long, right here on your source for all things Arkansas weather.